Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time to dive into a new City Skylines series. I purchased a couple of DLCs while they were on sale and they actually got me hooked to the game again, and I thought why the heck not document my journey to 1 million citizens and post it on YouTube. I do have a couple of mods installed, however nothing that is fundamentally cheating or anything. You can judge for yourself, I have them in the description. So without any further ado, let's get this started. I'm going with my favorite map, the Two Rivers map. I'm also going to rename this to RTAM City, Road to a Million. Let's freaking do this. Now, since this game isn't the newest, I'm not gonna, waste your time explaining too much, but I'm just gonna show you little snippets of my progress and basically give some commentary as to what is happening in the city. First things first, we want to build a little road so we can unlock the one-way street. And I think for the time being, I'm just gonna drag this highway a little further. I want to do this as straight as possible. Let's now think about where we want to have our districts. Right here, I would like to have a little forestry area. In the beginning, it's gonna be a normal industry because we haven't unlocked the milestone just yet. Right here, I would like to have a residential/commercial area, and up here, I would like to have some farmhouses. Now we could either do this in a fashion so it lines up with our highway, or we just build the districts first and then lead the highway organically through the gaps. And I think that is exactly what I'm gonna do. Let's start with a little roundabout right here. We want to turn it slightly, 45 degrees, and this is probably gonna be the center. Now I think I want to build it slightly further down, so let's get rid of this. And we're gonna build it right here instead. That should be good. So give me just a couple of minutes in order to expand this area with the road network that I do like aesthetically. Alright, there we go. That doesn't look too shabby to begin with. What I would like to have now is a bigger road leading all the way around it. And this is also going to be our main connection to this district. So I will probably end up having my connection right here, and everything else we expand slightly as we need it. Let me first try to drag this road all the way around in a straight manner, if possible. There we go, something like that. I actually really like that. Now we're gonna drag this road all the way to here, and this is gonna connect with our highway. Now at the moment, of course, this is not a proper highway, but we're gonna upgrade it as soon as possible. So now in order to get down from this highway, we're gonna make ourselves a little system here. What I would like to achieve is a 45-degree angle, and I just see that our connection points are not always lined up here. That of course is a slight problem, but maybe we are able to fix it just like that. Yeah, look at that. Now our connection points are lined up. So let's make a little something right here in order to get out of this area. We want to be able to get off the highway, and we want to be able to get onto the highway. Now, of course, we also have to connect this with a bridge. We're also going to go with a bigger road for this. Page up right here until we reach the road, another pillar right there, and hook this up again. And there we go. That's how easy it is. Naturally, we need to complete this with 2 more streets. Right here we can go onto the highway again, and right here we can switch the sides of the highway if we want to. Looking good, I think. So all we need to do is actually hook up this street to this one. I'm gonna go a little straight right here, and then we hook this one up. And I guess we can continue straight as of this point in order to get to our industrial area. And right here, I would like to have a bigger street with smaller roads branching off for the factories, etc. To make this more interesting, we can take a little curve right here, continue this a little bit, and then take another curve maybe up to here. I think that looks reasonable. Now all we have to do is branch off a couple of these streets. Also, once again, I want to make sure that we have as few intersections with the main street as possible. I'm gonna fix traffic as we move along. First of all, we have to check whether or not this is actually performing the way we want it to. We could actually have a second intersection right here in order to branch off right there, and then we wouldn't need this street, and therefore this street right here would be less busy. Yeah, I think I'm actually gonna do that. I'm gonna destroy this road again, and we're gonna branch off from the highway once again. There we go, that was actually pretty easy, and we can simply hook this up like so. Now one more thing I probably want to do is remove the traffic lights from these bigger junctions. Good, we planned out the first 2 districts, let's finally get to building. It's time to set up the housing and the shopping first. I'm gonna actually fill everything that is here in the inside of the square with residential. And then we're gonna do a couple of shops, probably, let's actually leave the center free for services, though they probably don't fit here anyways. So we can just fill this up with shopping, why the heck not? Another thing we can already do is build up a little bit of industry, so I think that's what I'm gonna do up to this point. That looks reasonable. However, there's one more thing we need to take care of, that is electricity and water. I'm gonna start with a little wind turbine right there. We're also gonna need a pumping station probably right here and a sewage drain right there. We need to connect this up, and we are now 15,000 in the minus, so we probably have to take out a loan. But before we do that, let's just go ahead and use up some more money to get these water pipes in the joint. Something like that is probably already enough. So let's go ahead and hook up these two systems as well. Alright, there we go. Something like that should already be doing the trick. All we need is a little bit of power. But before we add the power, let's just see where they start building. Ah, there we go. Bankruptcy alert. That is fine. We get 50,000 in order to try again. But there we go. People are now starting to move in. They're building their first homes, and soon enough the shops will follow, and after that we will see some industry, hopefully as well. But now that we know where they started building, we should also be able to drag the power to where we need it. So we're gonna go somewhere over here. This is actually also expensive stuff, the power lines. What you gonna do? Everything is powered, and of course we probably need a second wind turbine very soon. But we finally have people moving in. At the moment we're still in the minus, but that is gonna change very dramatically in a few minutes. We already have our first industry building as well. That is great. Actually, we need a lot more industry at the moment because of course all of our people are uneducated. We also need some power, so there you go. Congratulations! We already reached the first milestone, so now we have garbage, healthcare and education at our disposal. We have plenty of money once again, so that is good to know. Garbage disposal, I'm probably gonna have that somewhere along these lines. Now let me think. I want a separate garbage disposal for my industry. So maybe let's go ahead and drag a little road from here. And this is gonna be for my industry area. And we're also gonna branch off from here, take a approximately 45 degrees turn. And this is where I'm gonna have the garbage disposal for my actual city. So one right there and one right here. Perfect. We're also gonna have a medical clinic, which I'm gonna plot down right here. It can take care of more or less everyone here. Finally, we're gonna have a school right away. We want to educate our citizens. This is a long grind usually. And I want that to be right here with probably a park next to it. There we go. We are once again in the minus. It's time to let the game run and accumulate some money. Actually, before we do that, we need to increase our power. That's what I meant before. But one more of these turbines should be enough. Come on, right there. To get us up to speed a little bit. Alright, there we go. We are finally in the plus. I just need to let this running. We're gonna probably reach the next milestone with ease. And after that, we already have many more possibilities, such as making this into a forestry area. Worthy village already reached. We can now have the fire and police departments. Next milestone, 1,300. Alright, it's time to convert this into a different type of industry. This district right here, I want to swap that into forestry right there. And let's actually also call this Forestry Industry. Very unoriginal, but it works for me. I'm also going to make this into its own district in case we want to set up a couple of policies. So what we should be seeing is this entire industry getting dismantled and swapping into a forestry industry, and it's also gonna clean the ground eventually. I'm also gonna rename this district into Old Town. Even though right now it is pretty new, but eventually we're gonna know this is where it started. We're still missing the fire department and the police station, but for the time being, usually not too many buildings get burned down, but we can already see some robberies are going on. So maybe a police station wouldn't be the worst of ideas. Problem is, it's gonna decrease our weekly income by a lot. Well, screw it. Let's just set up a police station right here. We need to take care of this crime wave. It does make everyone happy, so yeah, there we go. We have a whole bunch of people upgrading just because of that fact. That means more people, that means more money, so that's good. The forestry industry, it does look a little sad at the moment, but the trees are gonna get more lush in a couple of in-game months or so. Next milestone, Tiny Town. We have reached it. We can now place parks, so that is gonna give us a lot of upgrade possibilities. Also, we have these canals. That is something I'm interested in. Couple of fences, etc, etc. Next milestone, 2,400. Now, with our newly gained money, I think we want to set up a couple of parks, like the Bouncy Castle Park. This is like an incredible one. I want to place this right here because it fits perfectly. And look at that, it's making our people so happy. Another thing I want to place is the Carousel Park, and I think we can place that. Let's see, we have not enough power at the moment. Let me set it up here in the corner. I think that is a good idea, making more and more of our people happy. Now let's take care of our power issue. I'm gonna place 2 more of these turbines right there. And we probably want to set up one more thing. I'm gonna set up a basketball court right there. And let me see, what is the cheap plaza? Right there, 2,500. Now a plaza doesn't really belong here, does it? Well, we shall see. I can always move it. I do have a mod that allows me to move buildings. So like this, everyone should be happy upgrading their buildings, etc, etc. Look at that, we're already making 1,300 plus a week. However, people do want more industry, and I should be able to deliver that. If we do something like that and drag another parallel street, we can add more industry. Oh yes, that's gonna look amazing actually, and we can fill this up with trees to make this aesthetically pleasing as well. Alright, so at the moment it looks as though we don't have enough educated workers. What we need is a high school really. And I think I'm actually gonna place that down right here. This building can take care of more or less everything. Yeah, at the moment we simply have to play the waiting game for these houses to upgrade and accommodate more people. Just give them some time for development. Man, I just appreciate the details of this game. I mean, if you follow one of the citizens, how they go about their day. For instance, this guy's just chilling on his balcony right now. Freaking amazing. We're almost at 2,000 people, already making over $2,000 plus. I did have to expand my industry area slightly though. Good. Now it's time to build another part of town, and for that I think I'm gonna expand into this direction. Give me a couple of minutes to come up with something I like. There we go, we have a little expansion. It is accessible from this intersection and this one right here. We might actually want to set up another row of shopping centers right here, thinking about it. And other than that, everything else can be filled up with residential. Oh, I still did not build my fire department. That of course is a mistake. We need that right here in the center. It is actually burning already. Coming to the rescue. If only you had the time to build a fire station when it burns in real life. Oh no, someone wants to steal garbage. That's not good. So maybe it's time for a fire station and police station here as well. Fire station. We have a nice little spot right here, and the police station can go right there. We almost reached the next milestone, and I'm making pretty good money at the moment. There's a very high demand for residential, which of course we can provide. And maybe a little bit more shopping here to wrap it up. Let's have a look at the education. Still over 50% uneducated. That's kind of insane. Maybe it's time for another elementary school, to be honest with you. Maybe one right here that is covering the rest of the area. I'm gonna have it right there. So it also includes the lower half of the district. And naturally, we are lacking a little bit of power once again. But soon enough, we should reach the next milestone, and then we can move on to water power. Let's also make sure these guys are happy. I think right here I have the space for something bigger, something foresty. And then right here I thought we might be able to fit something like that. We all know the parks are important. Finally, we reached Boomtown, which unlocked the transport, so we can have buses and taxis at the moment. We also have a recycling center and a whole bunch of roads unlocked. So this should allow me to actually upgrade these intersections to their final road types. Let's see, upgrade this one here, yes indeed, to a normal highway. This is gonna allow us to drive much faster. We also want to upgrade the on and off ramps, so people can drive faster. And right here I actually have to use the Move It mod to get this slightly out of the way so I can upgrade this final piece. Now the question is, do we want to upgrade the road on the top? We could have a 6-way lane, for instance. I mean, it cannot hurt. 6 ways is surely better than 4 ways, right? There we go, this should have done the trick, and you can see the vehicles are driving much faster already. One more thing I haven't built yet is a cemetery, and I think that should be a priority right now. Before the bodies start piling up, I think right here is the perfect spot for it. It also has a decent coverage. We're definitely also gonna need another fire department. I'm gonna place that right here, and possibly a clinic, right? Yeah, let's plot the clinic down right next to the park. Alright, it's time to think about the next part of town. So basically I'm just dragging my road network to over here. Here I want to have my farming industry plus a little village. So basically a district of its own. Alright, there we go. I got my intersection for the time being. All of this is subject to change, naturally. But let's think about our farming setup a little bit. Once again, I want my big road to lead basically through the entire industry with little roads branching off. So something along these lines, and then, well, let me see what I can come up with. There we go. Something like this is gonna be good as a start. We don't have too much farming area here, but it's certainly enough for a couple of farms. So let's swap that to a farm and also give it a proper name. The farming industry. Then, on the other side, right here on the top, I want to have a little living area. So let's get this one set up. There we go. Now, of course, this is gonna get its own district, just like that. Evergreen Park, that is actually a good name. We're gonna leave it just like that. There we go. Everything is hooked up to the water. Let's start zoning a couple of things. We have a very high demand for residential at the moment. So that's what we're gonna start with pretty much. Ah, there we go. Finally, we have a little bit of demand for the farming industry. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. So this new part of town is coming along nicely. I might want to connect these up with pedestrian pathways. So people that are living here can also work here, but I don't want cars to actually cross the different districts. I want them to use the highways. That's what I'm talking about. We're done with the basic wind turbines. It's time to set up the good ones that yield 20 megawatts if you set them up correctly. So I think I'm gonna have like 2 next to each other. At the moment we're making an insane amount of money for the size of the city. So I'm pretty happy playing the waiting game at the moment. We could also use a little bit more water and sewage drain right there. And other than that, we're doing pretty well for ourselves. One more thing I cannot forget is the garbage disposal. Of course, these people also deserve a little bit of it. Oh, I just saw there's a traffic light that I don't really want. Not necessary. Finally, we reached the next milestone, busy town. So even more stuff is unlocked, probably all types of roads, and a couple of bigger buildings and parks. We're gonna continue until we reach about 5,000 people, and then we're gonna wrap up this first episode. Of course, with every episode, we're gonna get more people exponentially, at least that's what I'm hoping for. So 1 million people will be more than possible in a reasonable time. That is a really nice building, I have to say, the Botanical Garden. I placed it right here next to the Forestry Industry. Also, I toggled off the zoning for these streets right here. I don't want any buildings adjacent to these streets except maybe a couple of parks. And all the empty spaces we're gonna fill up with either trees or other props we can place down. Alright, there we go. We almost reached 5,000 people. Traffic is no problem whatsoever at the moment, though I do not seem to have covered this with fire stations. That of course is a slight issue. Let me actually expand this street just slightly so we can place one. You're gonna go right there and hopefully take care of the issue. Oh my gosh, do something about it. What is going on here? Holy cow. That is a slight issue. Fortunately, our industry isn't big enough for that kind of thing to get out of control. Let me also set up a police station right here and maybe one more right there. Though these guys are also happy about it. But they aren't quite covered. Though the people up here need the police station much more desperately. So that's what we're gonna do. Good. I think with that out of the way, we're gonna wrap it up at 5,000 population. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and you're looking forward to the next episode. Have a great time and see you soon. Bye bye.